Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the first Daybreak episode of 2023. I'm Collie Unwinder.
And I'm Juliana Brock. This year, we're switching things up a bit. Nothing major, so no need to worry, but we plan on adding in some fun surprises throughout the semester.
One of those surprises is themed episodes. That's right, every episode is going to have a different theme. The theme for this week, a fitting one to kick off our semester, is new.
New stories, new events, new releases, and new trends. Want to find out what all of this new news is about? Keep on watching.
But for now, let's hand things over to the intro. Wake up and smell the coffee, Pittsburgh, because Daybreak starts right now. Welcome back, everyone. Before we start sharing your campus news, here's your weekly weather update with reporter Brandon Krasowski.
Thanks, guys. In case you haven't noticed, we've reached that point of the year where Pittsburgh is not quite summer and it's not quite fall. When you leave the house in the morning, you need your jacket. When you come home, you need to trade that for a tank top. As a result, you're coming in to see a big fluctuation of the highs and the lows. Expect to see lows in the mid-50s with highs reaching all the way to the 70s over the weekend. Aside from the Thursday, there doesn't seem to be much expected with precipitation, which is good news. Consider low temperatures and rain make for quite an uncomfortable combination. That's all for me. Let's hand it back to our host.
Thank you, Brandon. Things have sure started to cool down around campus.
Speaking of campus, it's time to hear about the latest here at Point Park and surrounding Pittsburgh universities.
Here's what's new around PPU.
Dr. Darlene Marnich steps down from her position as Point Park's Dean for the School of Education to be the Chair of Leadership and Administration within the same school. Dr. Marnich has served 3 years as the Dean for the School of Education and helped found the position, with many students praising her for her efforts on keeping the programs close. The new temporary Dean will be Shari Payne, the current Dean for Continuing Professional Studies. She'll be overseeing both roles as of now and says, quote, "I like to be busy, and I am fortunate to be able to work with two really talented teams in the School of Education," end quote. However, there will be an announcement made in October to start the official hiring process in which the new dean will be able to start during the 2024 summer semester. Dr. Marnish applauds Payne's willingness when expressing, quote, "She is really helping us with our vision. She's an awesome person to work with," end quote.
New space has opened up here at Point Park University. A ribbon cutting ceremony was held in honor of the university's second Matt's Makerspace, which is located in Academic Hall. This now means there are 40 STEM labs in our region. The founder of Matt Makerspace, Noelle Conover, opened the lab in honor of her son, Matt, who unfortunately passed away at age 12 after battling cancer. Conover told KDKA, quote, "Matt himself, we think, would have been an engineer. He was that kid that loved to play with Legos and robots and was always building something that was something creative out of his mind," end quote. In honor of his creativity, Matt's Makerspace consists of 3D printers, robotics, and other tools that will help future teachers prepare for their own classrooms. Conover told KDKA that she wants to incorporate Matt's Makerspace into mental health initiatives as well. Point Park University's Dr. Cameron York said, quote, "If we take a look at what our goals are, we are preparing our teachers for the future. We're encouraging current teachers in the classrooms to be working in these makerspaces, and we're building these partnerships as we continue to be agents in the maker world," end quote.
Come celebrate and reinforce diversity during the one-of-a-kind Violin of Hope exhibit. The exhibit will be held in the Posner Center at Carnegie Mellon University and will last from October 7th to November 21st. During these 2 months, CMU will be hosting educational and cultural programs, including the showcase Violins of Hope, where guests can view the string instruments played by Jewish citizens during the Holocaust and learn their emotional history. The showcase will, quote, "demonstrate humanity's amazing ability to rebound even from the darkest depravity," end quote. If you want to get in touch and uplift diversity in your community, show your support to this unique exhibit coming to Pittsburgh.
I think the new space is a really great idea. I love the way that they incorporated, well, it's really awesome that it's like it's the 40th STEM lab in this area. And that's
Only
really
40th?
awesome. I know, that's what makes it even more special. And then the fact that it's after somebody is also more.
It's really touching, and it's an academic hall, right?
It's an academic hall, right? So you got to check it out because that'll be really interesting.
That's going to be really good for the STEM students here. I mean, the big majors are like COPA and communications. It's nice that other majors get something really unique.
Absolutely, and I think the 3D printers are a really special touch to that because I remember when they added them in my high school, it was a big deal, and it got got a lot of stuff done. It was very efficient for getting new projects in place. So I think this will be a really good change.
Yeah, sounds a little fun.
Right, absolutely.
Speaking of good things, I'm excited for what Dr. Marnich is going to be up to as the chair.
Absolutely.
I know she's dropping down and everything, but Shari Payne, good for her.
Right, yeah.
She is working 2 jobs in the School of Education.
That is really great. It's really awesome to see what everybody can accomplish.
I know, she's killing it.
Yeah, she is killing it. That's really amazing. It is. Now let's hear from reporter Anthony Durzo regarding what new restaurant is opening up nearby at PPG Place. Anthony?
Thanks, guys. Yeah, the list of restaurants occupying space in downtown's Market Square area is growing. A new Italian restaurant called Alta Via will be filling the void at 2 PPG Place. Alta Via is owned by Big Burrito Restaurant Group, which owns many other popular restaurants such as Mad Mex, Soba, and 11. According to the city of Pittsburgh, the space was closed off from the public from 1984 and was used only for internal functions. In 2014, a different Italian restaurant called Poros took over the space but closed its doors in 2018. That is when Molinero's opened in the same space but shut down at the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. The city says the outdoor structure of the new Alta Via will have a diamond background similar to that of its neighboring restaurant CityWorks. Underneath that will be a green Linton landscape element with 2 entrances to patio seating areas surrounded by rows of plants. The city says the renovations will hopefully eliminate the, quote, cold and uninviting qualities, end quote, and match Market Square's colorful, eclectic, and diverse environment. On Friday, the business opened its doors for those who were interested in being employed at the restaurant to participate in on-the-spot interviews. This will be the second Alta Via location in the Pittsburgh area. The first one opened in O'Hara Township along Fox Chapel Road near the Waterworks Mall in 2019. I've been told by employees that they are hopeful that the new Alta Via will open at the end of October, and until then, my wait will have to continue. I've been on the edge of my seat waiting for this place to open, and I know exactly what I'm going to order as soon as I sit down at that table. You ready? It's called, what is it called? Long Island Duck.
Jens is coming.
Yeah, we are going to be there. What is that dish you just said? What is that?
I think it's a roasted breast of a duck. I could be wrong, but the name is so convincing, I just have to get it and try it. I mean, it's $39, so I'm sure it's going to be good.
Yeah, I mean, most things that are, you know.
I know, but I'm really excited. It sounds so fancy.
I know, we all have to go, get dressed up.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very similar to CityWorks. Very fancy, probably expensive, but I think it's going to be worth it.
Yeah, I think it'll be worth it too, and I'm excited to see the potential that this place has come to life.
The seating area, it all just sounds so good right now, and I think this is what they said, diversity and like the eccentric of Market Square. I'm just excited to see it out in Market Square.
And
it's going to be a more welcoming environment, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, Anthony. We've already covered quite a few new things happening around Pittsburgh, but don't you worry, there's plenty more where that came from.
After the break, we'll hear from reporters Kay Montgomery and Addison Deal about what's new in music and television.
Plus, we'll be sharing the scoop on some new Pittsburgh events and activities. You won't want to miss it. Daybreak will be right back.
Hey.
Good evening and welcome to Newsnight. My name is Craig Furkowski.
Tonight, we'll cover all your international, national, and local news.
Australia is one of the most biodiverse countries on the planet.
Over 8,000 items are to be auctioned off at Pittsburgh International Airport on October 22nd.
Last Thursday, the House committee investigating the January 6th attack chose to subpoena former President Donald Trump.
All this and more coming
up
up on
Newsnight.
Newsnight.
Welcome back, everyone. Before we get into what's new in music and television, let's spend some time learning a little bit more about all of the exciting things happening in the Berg.
Here's what's new in Steel City.
Looking to pick up a new hobby? Stop by Yoga in the Square to try yoga classes located in Market Square. These classes take place on Tuesdays and Sundays. The hours on Tuesdays are 5:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. and Sunday hours are 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. These classes are going on from now until October 10th, so grab your mat and get to the square because classes are free. The instructor for each yoga class is different each time, and you can find the schedule for instructors on downtownpittsburgh.com. This upcoming Tuesday's yoga class is being taught by Lita Kuntz from Schoolhouse Yoga. The alternative location, if it rains, will be at Etage Athletic Club, located on Stanwyck Street. Do not hesitate to try something new because this may become your new favorite hobby.
The Pittsburgh Strip District is opening a new Novo Asian food hall. This summer, focusing on Asian cuisine from multiple countries, the project is currently being built at the Terminal Building and is headed by two restaurateurs, Mike Chen and Alex Tang. The architectural firm AE7 will be designing the area to mimic the streets of famous Asian cities, as well as working with CMU and Pitt art students to create murals around the building. The venue will have 4 seating areas, one of them being outside, with 192 seats in total, along with a multitude of restaurateurs and restaurants with an open kitchen plan. 2 eateries, Lola's Cuisina and Korean Garden 2, are already working on the project. Alex Tang expresses that, quote, hopefully a marquee concept for Pittsburgh. We don't have anything like this in Western Pennsylvania with an Asian cuisine focus. Hopefully it's going to be something that's popular with everyone, end quote.
New love and new traditions are here in Pittsburgh. Last week before the Pittsburgh Steelers game against the Cleveland Browns, Paula Sproul and Kevin Eash got married outside of Acrisure Stadium in their Steelers gear. Each grew up in Johnstown and is a die-hard Steelers fan. Meanwhile, Sproul grew up in Norfolk, Virginia, but has adapted to the ways of being a Yinzer. These two are regular folks by day, with Sproul being a preschool teacher and Each working in the oil and gas industry. But on game day, they blossom into their alter egos. Known as the Steeler Princess and Steeler Warrior, these two do not mess around when it comes to representing black and gold. To make things even better, Ish reached out to who was commonly known as the Yinzer Pope to officiate the wedding, while Sproul had Steelers Jesus walk her down the aisle. The couple got engaged last New Year's Eve and took a new unique turn in going about their wedding. All is fair in love and black and gold. I love the idea of people getting married. I mean,
That was actually really fun.
Right, I wouldn't do it, but it's so creative and it's something that you never really hear about. So I can appreciate their passion for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I appreciate Pittsburgh pride.
Right, and
You know?
it really is something else. I mean, you're from out of town, and I remember you saying that you were really impressed with the Pittsburgh pride that we all had here.
Yeah, it's very evident, and even going into what Pittsburgh lacks, as I feel, is diversity. But oh my gosh, this new Novo food hall.
I am so excited to try that, especially with Mandarin closing. I mean, I know they weren't entirely the same when it came to cuisine, but it's along the same lines, and so I'm really looking forward to trying that out as well.
Yeah, especially in the Strip, where the Strip has so many different restaurants and stores of different cultural cuisines. I feel like this is going to be beautiful down the Strip, and I'm so excited.
Yeah, and they're putting a lot of work into the art of the place. I feel like it's going to be really gorgeous just to be there. And then it said 192 seats or something along those lines, but that is really, that's impressive. It'll seat a lot.
And the open kitchen plans.
Right. It'll be exciting. We got to go. And
I know.
We'll have to see how it goes.
Hit the Italian restaurant, hit the Asian cuisine.
Yes, that'll be perfect. It'll be a great weekend. It will.
Now let's hand things over to reporters Addison Deal to hear about what's new in the music industry. Addison?
September is turning out to be a month full of new music this year. Artists such as Olivia Rodrigo, Doja Cat, and more have dropped new music since the month began. Rodrigo's second studio album, Guts, was released on September 8th. Compared to her debut album, Sour, which was a heartbreaking love song to teenage angst, this album is focused on her adult years from turning from 19 to 20. Rodrigo has some clear punk influences in this album with heavy guitar and drum music. The top song of the album was the first release single, Vampire, which topped the Billboard Hot 100's Top 40 charts, peaking at #1 for 2 weeks. After the full release, Get Him Back and All American Blink joined the previously released singles in the top 40 with the rest of the album not far behind. Doja Cat's fourth studio album, Scarlet, dropped on September 22nd. The artist had made it clear on social media that she wanted to stay away from the bubbly pop sound of her last album, Planet Her. Hip-hop and R&B are the main influences in this album, which is her first album that has no features. The album's single, Paint the Town Red, hit #1, marking the artist's first solo number one on the Billboard Hot 100. With all the new music to listen to this month, we'll have to wait to see what the rest of the year has in store. So, have you guys listened to either of these albums yet?
I have listened to Guts, and I am a really big fan of that album. I don't think it's as good as Sour was, but it's, well, okay, they're both equally as good in different ways, I should say. I'll have to give her that. I am a big fan of Olivia Rodrigo and that album. I'm trying to get tickets to her concerts, but they're very expensive, so fingers crossed something works out.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
What about Doja Cat?
Me personally, oh, I'm so excited. I have not listened to Scarlet yet, but I've listened to the singles that she dropped before. I'm a big Doja Cat fan, even with all her recent controversy. And I'm excited for this new album. Even with the no features, I'm kind of glad she's straying away from pop right now. Even though I love Planet Her, I love her pop stuff. I'm ready to hear her rap. I'm ready to hear R&B. You know, I'm ready to see this dark side of Doja.
I definitely agree. She's been talking about it so much. I'm just like waiting to see what new stuff she's gonna do. I'm actually going to her concert in November, so I'm very excited to hear all these new songs in
That is
concert.
so exciting.
I'm gonna have to join you on that one.
Yeah, that'll
Come
be
on,
so
let's
fun.
go.
Thanks, Addison. Now that we've heard what's new in music, let's switch the topic over to the big screen. Here's reporter Kate Montgomery with a scoop on the newest season of American Horror Story.
That's right, the brand new season of American Horror Story Delicate, premiered last Wednesday, September 20th on FX. This is the 12th season of the show, which is currently renewed up to season 13 as part of a 3-season renewal from the network back in 2020. There has been controversy with this season ever since the lead casting was announced via social media back on April 10th. The season stars AHS fan favorite Emma Roberts and newcomer to the show, Kim Kardashian. Right after casting was announced, many longtime fans of the show were skeptical of Kardashian, since she is more well-known as a reality television star and not as an actress. But some fans took to the comments to defend Kim, stating that they wanted to see her performance before making any decisions about the casting. Turns out that Kardashian isn't the only star with controversy, though, as her co-star Emma Roberts seems to be in hot water recently as well. One of Roberts' former co-stars from a previous season of the show, American Horror Story 1984, Angelica Ross, stated in an Instagram live video on September 19th, just a day before the new season premiered, that Roberts made a transphobic comment towards her on the set of AHS 1984. Ross took to the social media platform X the next day to announce that Roberts called her to apologize for the comment that was made. Ross wrote, quote, "I will leave the line open to follow up on your desire to do better and support social justice causes with your platform," end quote. So far, only one episode of the new season has been released, but it seems to be well received by critics and the public. On Kardashian's performance, The Guardian wrote that she is, quote, "scarily not bad," end quote. This season is based on Daniel Valentine's novel, Delicate Condition, which is described on its cover as, quote, "the feminist update to Rosemary's Baby we all needed," end quote. We're just gonna have to see what people think of the rest of the season and if these actors can avoid any more controversy. Now, have any of you guys seen the new season so far? Are you AHS fans?
I've watched a couple seasons of AHS. I watched like the first 2. I am excited about this one. I have not seen the first episode yet, but I'm so excited to see Kim Kardashian. I know people will be like, oh, is she an actor or not? I think she's gonna do well. Like, even with her new photo shoot, like, she can transform herself to any role she does. And I think that's very exciting just to see. And, you know, like other shows like Scream Queens, they had like Ariana Grande and all these new celebrities, and they turned out to do really well on the show. So I think Kim Kardashian's no exception.
Yeah, I watched the first episode and I thought Kim has been doing great so far. I'm excited to see how her character plays out in the rest of the season.
Right, I don't watch the show personally, but I am interested in the plot and everything about it, so I might have to get into it because I am intrigued to see Kim Kardashian play this part. So not that I doubt her, but it definitely is a change that I think we were all taken back by, and now we're all happy to see how it's going to play out.
Yeah, and the plot's the big one. Like, with all the seasons of American Horror Story, people have said that it's gotten worse over time, so I'm excited to see how this plot can, you know, one-up the other like recent seasons of American Horror Story.
Right. It'll definitely be interesting.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Cade. After the break, we'll hand things over to reporter Samuel Parator to hear about what's new in Pittsburgh sports.
And of course, stick around for this week's Ray of Sunshine. This week there will be a bit of a twist. Welcome back, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the break. Before we get into this week's final segment, we're going to hear from a reporter who has the scoop on our latest in Pittsburgh sports.
Here's Samuel Parator with this week's Sideline Slice. Sam?
Thank you, Kaliana and Juliana. Welcome back, everyone, to another brand new season of Sam's Sideline Slice, where I get you up to date on everything going on so far in the National Football League. Since the theme of today's show is new, let's take a look at this new Steelers roster and how it has stacked up so far throughout the first 3 weeks of the season. This offseason was quite a busy one for our Steelers heading into the 2023 year. Between free agency and the draft, there were a lot of new faces on this team on all sides of the ball. On the offensive side, lots of depth was added to the offensive line. Additions of Broderick Jones, Nate Herbig, Isaac Seumalo beefed up the line a little bit, despite Seumalo being the only new guy consistently starting as of right now. The skill positions also had some updates, as the Steelers got Calvin Austin III back for this season after an injury took him out for the entirety of last year. They also added veteran wideout Allen Robinson from the Rams and drafted Darnell Washington, a monster tight end from Georgia, standing at 6'7" and over 260 pounds. The rest of the offense remains pretty similar, with Kenny Pickett at quarterback, Najee Harris and Jalen Warren in the backfield, and to much of the chagrin of most Yinzers you talk to, including me, Matt Canada coordinating the offense. The defensive side of the ball also saw a lot of turnover. Some of the highlights include signing veteran cornerback Patrick Peterson, safety Keanu Neal, linebackers Cole Holcomb, Quan Alexander, and Landon Roberts, and the drafting of Joey Porter Jr. out of Penn State. On paper, this team looked solid heading into the season, and Yinzer Nation was super excited and feeling hopeful for these brand new Steelers, especially after an undefeated preseason. Unfortunately for Steeler Nation, that hype stalled very quickly with the start of the regular season after getting absolutely smacked in the season opener by the 49ers 30-7. Thankfully, last week in a primetime divisional matchup, they were able to survive and grab an ugly win 26-22 against the Browns to move up to 1-1. They got another big game in Week 3 on Sunday Night Football against the Las Vegas Raiders to try and right that ship, and they would become victorious in another close win 23-18. This still had its fair share of ugly moments, but also a lot more hope for Steelers fans as well. There's still a lot more football remaining, considering we've only completed 3 weeks, so we will have to see how this team will fare the rest of the way. Be on the lookout next week for a brand new version of Sideline Slice, mayhaps. Staying with new but shifting away from the Steelers a little bit, another new storyline that arose last week, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. Hosts, what do we feel about that?
I am very supportive of this new potential couple. I am a fan of Taylor Swift and I am a fan of the Chiefs. Not because of Taylor Swift, I was a fan before, but honestly, I think that this is a really good power couple moment. They're not official yet, but I really enjoyed seeing the videos of Taylor at the game this last weekend or week, and it was really cute to see how excited she got. She was with his mom up in his little box, so I thought that was very exciting, and I like to see where this is possibly going and to see if they make it official.
Yeah, I like them. I think Travis Kelce is a beaut, and I'm glad to see such a power couple going its way. But talking about the Steelers win, I have the Steelers defense on my fantasy, and they did terrible the first week. It hurt my game a little bit, and as a non-Steelers fan, it was kind of nice to see the 49ers win. But I'm excited to see them keep playing good, because based on my need for them to play good in defense.
Yeah, on that side, I had the Steelers defense in week 1 in fantasy, didn't do very well. I shifted very quickly, and I probably did that a little bit too quick because they came back really strong in the second week.
Yeah,
on the Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift side, the Swifties have already made an impact. I just saw that his jersey sales have just increased 400% from yesterday.
That is crazy. That honestly, it would make sense too. I know that there was a lot of hype about it. We were just talking about it in my PR class today. So it is definitely interesting to see how all of a sudden everybody's a big Chiefs Travis Kelce fan now that Taylor Swift is in the picture. Yeah. But we shall see what happens.
I like when fandoms overlap, you know?
Right.
It just uplift the stars that should be uplifted.
Absolutely.
Like Travis Kelce for football and Taylor Swift for music.
Right, absolutely. It'll be interesting.
Thanks so much, Sam. Now it's time for this week's Ray of Sunshine. We know that you're used to us using this time to share an inspirational quote, but instead we're going to switch things up a bit.
Instead of a quote, we'll be sharing with you a news update or fun fact that's meant to brighten your day.
This week, our theme is new, so what better to share than the newest addition at the Pittsburgh Zoo?
Charlotte, the baby gorilla, is the Pittsburgh Zoo's newest animal. Recently celebrating her 5-month birthday, she's adorable and she came at the perfect time, considering that this year is the zoo's 125th anniversary.
Oh, but we're not just here to talk about her. Here's some video of the precious girl straight from the zoo's YouTube channel.
It's the cutest thing I have ever seen.
I know.
It is. She's so tiny. She's just a baby.
So small.
In fact, I remember covering a story on her last semester. So it's really cool to see the evolution now, 5 months later, and the zoo's 125th anniversary. That's crazy.
Yes, I did hear about that. I'm excited to go. We have to make a weekend trip out of it.
Absolutely.
Italian food, Asian food.
Absolutely.
Pittsburgh Zoo.
And it'll be your first time at the Pittsburgh Zoo.
Yes.
So this is a big weekend coming up for Kay.
I get to see baby Charlotte.
I know. I'm excited. So this is going to be a really good time. That's it for our first episode of Daybreak. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did.
As usual, don't forget to subscribe and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at DaybreakPPU. Until next time, I'm Kalian Winder.
And I'm Juliana Brock, hoping your news is great news. See you next time, everyone.